say.
There was certainly a hint of impairment or brain damage, as we would call it.
Yeah, and when we look at the brains of people who go on to commit murder, there is a suggestion that they look slightly different to people who don't engage in violent acts. So the part of the brain that we often talk about here is the prefrontal cortex. So this is the part of the brain that controls the emotions, essentially, the difference between right and wrong. It helps us suppress urges that we might have. And in people who've committed murder, these areas of the brain tend to be less active. So it could be suggested that this electroconvulsive therapy did have an impact upon Rose's brain as she was developing as a fetus.
150 miles away in Muchmarkel, Fred West had also experienced an abusive childhood at the hands of his mother Daisy and father Walter. Age 17, he too was to suffer brain damage as the result of a motorcycle accident.
Following Fred's motorcycle crash, the brakes were taken off his behaviour entirely. The morality was removed.
Well, you meant the motorbike then.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
He quite simply could look at something which is garish and horrific and feel absolutely nothing.
There are some people who suggest that West's injury and what they assert was a metal plate placed in his head accounted for his later behaviour as a sexual predator and a serial killer. I've never believed it. I'm not even sure that he actually had a metal plate in his head. I believe he would have become a predator and a killer regardless of the accident.
West was already known to the police as a petty criminal. Now aged 20, he was prosecuted for incest. He had impregnated his 13-year-old sister. But as always, his mother rushed to the defence of her blue-eyed boy.
There is no doubt in my mind that his mother Daisy's attitude to he could do what he liked, take what he wanted, made Fred feel invincible, that he was effectively free to do whatever he chose, whenever he chose to do it. If Fred had a bad time at school, for example, misbehaviour, Daisy would march down to the local primary school and berate the teacher for, no, you can't treat my son like that, that's Fred, he's a very, perfect boy. And she was still doing that. When Fred was charged